What's up, Heat fans? Nic Rohloff of the Heat Report. We have some interesting topics on today's show. Is a big trade coming in the offseason for the Miami Heat? This man right here, Adrian Wojnarowski, did kind of hint at it. This came away about 2 weeks ago when he was talking about the Heat on ESPN, and I did want to revisit this quote that he had, but I wanted to make sure the season was over before we actually did that. And there are a lot of trade rumors surrounding the Miami Heat, so don't miss any of them. Join the channel, hit that sub button right now. We grew a lot during the season and postseason, which made me very happy, but we are not going to stop our coverage. Rumors and trades, draft, free agency, the whole 9 yards on the channel leading up to the 24-25 NBA season. All right, let's get to what Woj did say on NBA Now just a couple weeks ago. He says, I think Miami will be in a position again to use the assets and go out and get an all-star level player that connects more on the timeline of Bam Adebayo. And this is music to my ears because I got to be honest, as much as I love Jimmy, the Heat have been tiptoeing this line of going all in with Jimmy Butler and trying to win now, but also setting themselves up for the future post-Jimmy Butler. That's why Hero's still on the team, Jovic, Jaquez. But this is the time where Pat Riley, at age 79, has to just come up with it and choose a path. Are you going all in with Jimmy and Bam, or are you going all in on the youth movement with Bam and some of the young guys and potentially moving on from Jimmy Butler? I kind of lean in the let's try to get Jimmy a ring in the next couple seasons before he retires. And there is a way that you can actually go all in with Jimmy Butler and Bam and create a big three, but also keep the future, because these three stars, not saying they're all going to be traded, and I'd actually be willing to say only one probably gets traded, that being Donovan Mitchell. We'll talk about him more in depth in a second. But all three of these guys line up with Adebayo. Bam is 26, 27 years old. D-Mitch, 27. D-Book, 27. Ingram, 26. These would all be guys to help you win now with Jimmy and Bam as that third guy, or even be honestly the first or second scoring option. But then after Jimmy retires, they could be a solid duo with Adebayo in Miami. Now, obviously, D-Mitch is the most clear and obvious choice here if you're Miami. There's been a lot of flirting between Donovan Mitchell and Miami over the past couple seasons. Before he got traded from Utah to Cleveland, Miami was in the mix there. It just was unlucky for Pat Riley and the Heat that Kevin Durant also asked out that summer. Because I do truly believe that if Kevin Durant wasn't on the table, Pat Riley would have put all of his efforts toward D-Mitch. And here's the thing with Mitchell. It's still obvious that he is likely going to be traded because he's not signing a long-term extension in Cleveland. Eric Pincus of Bleacher Report, shout out producer Coop, had this to say on D-Mitch. The buzz in NBA circles suggests that barring a run to the NBA Finals, which even though they're up 3-2 in the series right now, there's absolutely no chance. They might even lose round one, but if they win, they're getting smoked by Boston. Donovan Mitchell will decline an extension and look elsewhere, and the Cavaliers are more likely than not to move him well before he can leave outright as a free agent. It makes sense for Cleveland to try to get some assets back for Mitchell instead of letting him walk away for basically nothing in the following season if he doesn't sign a long-term extension. So could Miami strike a deal with Cleveland to get Spida in the 305 to pair up with Jimmy and Bam and be Bam's long-term partner in Miami? We'll talk more, but I want to know your thoughts on the situation. Do you want to trade for Donovan Mitchell? If you do, type Y for yes. If you don't, type N for no. It's today's pinned comment. So if you get hit with a YouTube ad break, scroll down, let it play, and answer today's question. He should be the number one priority. Donovan Mitchell is the guy that Miami needs to trade for in the offseason. He is a dynamic three-level scorer that can really get his bucket and shot off from anywhere on the basketball court. I mean, you see his numbers on screen right now. A bona fide superstar and a bona fide elite scorer. D-Mitch would be your number one option in the regular season offensively. Him and Bam are really good friends. Mitchell has a house in Miami. He trains in the 305 with Bam in the offseason. Like I said, it's not, I don't want to undersell how important relationships are in the NBA. And the fact that D-Mitch and Bam are really close would make a pairing for them two very, very easy, and easy for Mitchell to commit long-term to Miami. It really feels like it's either New York or Miami for Donovan Mitchell in terms of a long-term deal, because even if another team swoops in and trades for D-Mitch in the offseason and outbids the Heat or Knicks, it's no guarantee he signs there long-term, right? Like, you'd have to get that guarantee, and he might only give that guarantee that he's going to sign a long-term deal to New York and Miami. My trade package for Donovan Mitchell. People, if you say this is too much, you clearly have not watched the Miami Heat, and you clearly have not watched Donovan Mitchell play basketball. He is absolutely worth all three of the young guns of Hero, Jovic, and Jaime Jaquez Jr. And y'all know how much it hurts me to put that man right there in this trade package, but I'm doing it for the greater good of this basketball team. You can trade 2030 as a first-round pick. You can't technically trade the 15th overall pick just yet, but you can trade that pick on draft night, or you can just make that selection at 15 and then trade that player in this package. I don't care it's enough, or if you think it's too much, this is the way, folks. A Donovan Mitchell, Jimmy, and Bam big three would be as good as a roster in the NBA as you can have. And I am going to trust the scouting department and trust the Heat organization to find players that complement Donovan Mitchell, Jimmy, and Bam and get them alongside those three. For example, you'd ask, well, are we keeping Terry Rozier? Very unlikely. Probably can't afford Rozier, Mitchell, Bam, and Jimmy. But I would be okay flipping Rozier to another team for more assets back that can be flipped for other players, or just trading Rozier to a team that can give you two role players. Not saying like Royce O'Neal and Phoenix, but a player in that type of range that gives you some good minutes. And then you also get the Bam D-Mitch dynamic duo once Jimmy Butler retires. We'll talk about Booker and Ingram in a second, but D-Mitch is my golden goose. We talked about Damian Lillard quite a bit last offseason. As long as Donovan Mitchell is still a member of the Cavs, we're going to be talking about him quite a bit this summer. You better get this long sleeve Miami Heat t-shirt before it runs out of sizes. Strike now at chatsports.com/HeatLS. That's for long sleeve. It will be in the description and comments in terms of link. So click on it. Strike now. Like I said, I think 3X is gone, but some of them are still there. So get advantage, take advantage. The offseason's here, so it's time to retool the Heat's roster, but you got to also retool your Heat wardrobe. All right, let's transition to Devin Booker, because I do think it's very unlikely Miami actually ends up trading him. And I know there's a lot of smoke out there with, are the Suns going to rebuild with KD, D-Book? I actually don't believe they're going to trade any of them. I think they run it back with that big three and maybe try to upgrade the roster around those three and just hope Bradley Beal, Book, and KD can stay healthy and gel in year two. But if there had to be a trade for Devin Booker, it's the same exact trade as Donovan Mitchell. Because let's be honest here, guys. This is the best trade that you can offer for any all-star caliber player, all-NBA player, whatever you want to say. This is the best the Heat can offer. And I got to be honest, I don't know if it's going to be good enough to net a return for D-Book. Because, listen, Book is really talented. He's same age as D-Mitch, same type of scorer in terms of efficiency. Honestly, the averages are very similar. D-Mitch is just a little bit more explosive, I'd say, but I'd also say D-Mitch is a little bit more injury-prone than Booker. Booker stays healthy, but there is the questions of Booker because he has had some bad moments in the postseason. There's no doubt about that, and I like Book. I think I would choose Donovan Mitchell because he already has that connection to Bam Adebayo and the city of Miami, but it's hard for me not to say that I also wouldn't want Devin Booker on this team because he would provide you with the same things D-Mitch would, and same timetable, it would be fantastic. I just don't think the Suns end up trading him, and I also think if they do end up trading Devin Booker, they're blowing the entire thing up and going full youth movement, and Miami's package is less pick-heavy, which is probably what they would want in return, a la New York Knicks, who have a bajillion picks to offer, and there's already rumors out there that that's who their number one guy is. But pick a shooting guard that you'd rather the Heat trade for. Type DM for Donovan Mitchell. If you'd rather have Devin Booker from Phoenix, type your DBs. Lastly, I do want to touch on Brandon Ingram because I think he would be intriguing and very fascinating to add to this Miami Heat roster. He's a wing, not really a guard, and he would actually play front court. Like your front court, if you trade for Brandon Ingram, would be Ingram, Bam, and Jimmy. It would be small and it'd be intriguing to see how they defend, but Ingram would be a really good scorer, a 20-point-per-game scorer. Not as good as Book and Mitchell are, but he's an all-star caliber player. I do find it very doubtful that Brandon Ingram gets traded to Miami. Why, you ask? Because to me, the rumors surrounding Ingram in a trade are if the Pelicans want to go whale hunting themselves and they want to build around CJ, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, and Zion, and they use the Brandon Ingram piece and his talent alongside their boatload of picks to get a all NBA caliber guy, upgrade from all-star to all NBA. I don't think they would want to take a package of Miami and get a couple first-round picks and some young guys. No, that doesn't help them now. They need to get a bona fide all-NBA player to pair up with the guys that I just mentioned. Ingram would be a great fit in the Heat, though, because he can get his own bucket. He's great at finishing at the rim. He can knock down the three ball. There's been some moments also in the play-in playoffs where it's been rough for Brandon Ingram. I cannot deny that. But that's also been him as a number one option. If he's able to be that third guy and lead us in the regular season with Bam, and then once the postseason rolls around, Jimmy gets into that mode, assuming he's healthy, I think it would make a lot of sense. I just don't think it's very realistic for these two teams to talk in a trade. And I would also prefer guard anyway, and I think that's what Pat Riley would prefer as well. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at Nic_Rohloff because we're going to be tweeting about Heat trade rumors and news all offseason long. And if you want the full package of the Heat report, follow me on Twitter at Nic_Rohloff because I'll tweet about it first, and then we're going to come on the channel and make a video, in-depth analysis. We'll have it all, so subscribe as well, and I'll see you in the next video. Go Heat.